Toph, Bolin, Katara, Iroh, not Mako, Sokka, Zuko, Tenzin, Iroh, all losers, dorks, and total B-words. Can't swear yet. Hello everyone, and welcome to the classroom. Today we'll be looking at some of the best characters in all of Avatar, its villains, and we'll even be crowning the King of Evil. There's a certain cynicism infecting a lot of mainstream culture these days that I frankly despise, even in things that I like. I like a show like The Boys, but if every show tries to be as grim as The Boys, I think it gets pretty depressing. So, as a counterbalance within my soul to maintain my inner light and purity, I like to watch cartoons for children. And cool adults. Avatar: The Last Airbender. No matter how much I like to poke fun at it for being a little silly, a little Reddit-pilled, and a little cash cow for views, it is a fantastic series. One of my favorite things about it is just how earnestly good and heroic so much of the cast is. We've got Katara, always ready to provide emotional support, or absolutely beat the bricks off of someone at a moment's notice. Bolin is literally such a sweet himbo that he doesn't even recognize that he's working for a fascist, which is a little aggravating. And Aang. I mean, that's really all I need to say. It's Aang.
You muzzled apple?
But as I've gone back and watched Avatar and Korra time and time again, what continues to stick with me is how many great villains we get. And I guess like the one or two crappy ones.
Now show me your leader, so I may dethrone him.
That's him over there!
There's a banality to a lot of the villains in the original Avatar series that I think is really interesting. The quiet evil of the old bitches at the DMV. While certain members of the Fire Nation royal family and sexy bounty hunters may be the more memorable villains of these series, many of the episode-to-episode villains are members of the Bureaucracy, quiet pencil pushers to vindictive prison wardens. Whether we're in the heart of the Fire Nation or the upper crust of Ba Sing Se society, our characters are honestly more likely to be wrapped up in red tape than end up in a fight sometimes. I like the idea of, like, an anti-Semitic guy in Ba Sing Se. The Judees run the government. One of my favorite examples of this very passive evil in the Avatar world is the Fire Nation schoolteacher from the Headband, with her lesson plan of authoritarian propaganda. Something as familiar feeling as a history lesson becomes so sinister in this context, as the teacher educates her students on the war between the insurgent air nomads and the heroic Fire Nation. What's even scarier about it is that this is her job. We're not seeing an evil teacher go off the rails to invent their own propaganda. This is business as usual. Like, if the Fire Nation were real, new Ozai 99 would be streaming on Peacock. Well, okay, like, let me be clear. I don't like the idea of any anti-Semitic guys. I thought it would be funny if, like, in Ba Sing Se, Long Feng is the most intimidating office worker of the series. His intelligence gathering skills already rival even the nosiest 9-to-5er. He'll know who the office slut is before he even makes his first move. And the Dai Li are not only the most effective gossip hounds in the Earth Kingdom, but they also literally throw hands. The Dai Li also seemingly have an allegiance only to, like, the most fascist person in the room. They're just freelance evil.
I just love it.
But bureaucracy, fascism, authorization, all big, stupid, meaningless words. You know a word I like? Friendship.
Ty Lee, could that possibly be you? Azula!
May, Ty Lee, and Azula, Ozai's Angels, or as I prefer to call them, the Fire Nation Great Girl Gang. These three are not just some of the most iconic villains in the Avatar universe, but characters. Between throwing knives, chi blocking, and fire that is blue, they also give us a lot of variety in fights. But the thing that makes them the most compelling is that they're not evil. They're really just teenage girls. I mean, besides Azula, I guess. Or maybe she's the most teenage girl? Fans already love trying to psychoanalyze Zuko, but the interim Fire Lord Azula is a whole Sigmund slice of great villain writing. But if you want pure adult-rated evil, there's really only one person to call. Mark Hamill.
Adventure. Excitement.
That bastard. Fire Lord Ozai is a great example of cartoon evil.
How will we defeat the evil?
He's not nearly as one-dimensional as like a Skeletor or Megatron, although there was a scrapped firebending ability where Ozai would be able to transform himself into a pistol a la Megatron, but moving on. He's already at least two-dimensional, and Mark Hamill's incredible voice acting gives at least another half-dimension. But part of what makes Ozai so compelling is how little of him you see until pretty late in Season 3. That's actually one of the biggest errors I think that the Netflix adaptation made. I think Ozai is one of those cases where him getting more fleshed out would actually make me enjoy his presence as a villain less. The most I really need to see him explored is in his interactions with Zuko and Azula, which I think are already really revealing. A villain doesn't always need to have, like, a super well-written motivation or, like, even a very coherent plan. Sometimes all you need is
10,000 years of darkness.
The villains are one of the only aspects of Legend of Korra that everyone feels comfortable praising. Since Korra is a banger series, but the internet has deemed it a bad series, garbage and here's why, people pick out some of the indisputably best elements of the series to praise when they say stuff like, oh, Korra is a jerk, Korra is a homie hopper, which is true, but like, shut up man, that's the GOAT. While Korra does face bureaucratic evil like in the original Avatar, her villains are more often a challenge to the status quo. Amon challenges the bending bourgeoisie, Unalaq tries to make the South rise again, and Zahir, the ultimate anarchist. Avatar, did you know that asking me to shower is actually the most oppressive hierarchy of all? Kuvira in Season 4 actually kinda shows us what a better written Ozai could have been. Sexy. Okay, well, sexier. While the villains in Avatar are pretty commonly the managerial class of the world, whether they be in the Fire Nation or the Earth Kingdom, with the gang fighting not just the Fire Lord but the forces of puberty, these adult villains represent a child's reaction to really any authority figure, not just the overtly fascist ones. But in Korra, the villains are more often a challenge to the authority that Korra as an avatar represents. Of course, not all of them do this well. I think that the worst villain in the Avatar universe is pretty definitively
10,000 years of
Uncle Darkness. Not every technically political villain needs to have actually well-written, like, political motives. The Fire Lord himself proves that. But if you're not going to deliver in the writing department, well, you better fax a memo down to the ass-kicking department and hope they'll accept your transfer. The Rough Riders are a good example of not having to really have that much writing about you to be effective at what you're doing. They've always been a part of the original series I wish we could have seen more of. Mei and Ty Lee make non-bending so fun that I just want to watch more of it. The best villain, though, that's a little tougher to pick. Zuko is perfect, but I don't know if he even really counts. Azula is very well written and very fun to watch fight. Kuvira should kiss me, but if I had to just pick one, I would pick 4. Mother, did you know that asking me to get a girlfriend is actually bourgeois decadence? Zahir and the Red Lotus, I think, are pretty definitively the best villains across the Avatar series. Man, I don't know what I was saying about wanting more non-benders. Stupid losers. He represents this weird, kinda hilarious cartoon version of anarchism in the same way that Amon does for communism. Henry Rollins also delivers a really unique performance for this universe. He has a genuine love and appreciation of airbending culture that you can hear when he talks about it.
What were you reading?
A poem by Guru Lahima, the wisest airbender who ever lived.
See, and then he just beats the absolute dog out of everyone. He's perfect. The Red Lotus have the perfect balance of being really interesting characters and having new, inventive ways to beat up Team Avatar. Minghua is up there with Toph for some of the coolest disability representation I have ever seen in my life. Ghazan, while I don't love the idea of an earthbender being able to lava bend, I can't control the fact that my monkey brain goes crazy when he makes those lava, like, Beyblades. They even give him an unexpected level of depth with just a few lines. I really like how casually friendly he is with Bolin, even growing into rivals, but the way he chooses to die.
Give up, Ghazan! You can't win!
I'm never going back to prison. If I'm going down today, you're coming with me!
No Red Lotus dies like Pali, however. The second ever combustion bender, you know, maybe, I don't like to read. Her death impacts that season in a shockingly massive way, turning Zahir into the most enlightened airbender in nearly a millennium. Losing a bad hoe will do that to ya. I also just love the random detail that they're dating. More villain groups need to have casual sex. They are evil after all. But speaking of dating and villainy, Nickelodeon is by far the biggest bureaucratic evil that Korra has ever had to face. Not only having to deal with shortened seasons, being moved to streaming only in a time where that was basically taking your series out back and telling it to think of the rabbits, and above all, the cold feet back and forthing Nickelodeon did with Korra and Asami, turning what could have been a really well written and groundbreaking couple kinda into,
oh my god, they were roommates.
And if I had to pick one more thing to complain about, I know that they would have had to hire several new animation studios just for this, but come on man, why'd you make Zahir cut his hair?
What the hell are you wearing?
It's my ass-kicking outfit, bitch!
The villains in the world of Avatar are simply too good, or too bad. So I hope you understand why I couldn't pick just one, but I shall be crowned the King of Evil for the crime not only of deceiving my audience, but stealing all of your hearts. But that is the video for this week, y'all. I hope you had a good time. Tell me who your favorite villain is down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that video. If you made it to this point, a special double thank you so much. I'm having to record this early because I am dog sitting right now for my parents, so I'm not at home. But hello parents, hello dog, if you've made it to this point, thank you very much. Yeah, this was a fun video to make. It was originally like just a video about the Red Lotus, but I'm probably also going to talk about them quite a bit whenever I talk about Korra Season 3. That'll probably be pretty soon if this video does well, honestly. But what I have to show off my collection this week is, I think I might have shown this off before, but I'm not entirely certain. It's this little face-painted Sokka. This is part of Girlfriend Gift Time. I either got this for Christmas or Valentine's Day, but I don't know. I'm just so spoiled, I guess. But, yeah, thank you so much for watching that video, y'all. My favorite villain in all of, like, Avatar stuff might be Zahir. He's so, man, the Red Lotus fights, like, so well, and Zahir is so scary, and he's so cool, and he's voiced by Henry Rollins. Man, he's dope. I like him. I like making fun of him for being an anarchist. But, yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.